What's up? What it do? Soul fam, welcome to K&M Witchery or Readings by K&M. That's me. I am Kat Nicoletta Monroe, for those of y'all who may not know. And this is your spiritual check-in to discuss the current timeline shift that you have likely surpassed or are currently undergoing. If this video called to you for whatever reason, welcome. Welcome. First things first, pardon me. I am quite under the weather, but Spirit kept pushing me to show up for y'all today, so with some reluctance, admittedly, I got up, I got ready, and I'm here. But yeah, I'm a little puffy, stuffy, and leaky. Like, my eyes, like, they cannot stop. So just my bad for, like, the lack of enthusiasm that I would typically have, but whatever, we're here, okay? I may be self-employed, but, like, my boss is G-O-D, and when he says show up, I say, fine. So fam, let's talk about this timeline shift. Now, I intend my spiritual check-ins to be timeless, meaning that any point in time, in the future or in the present, whatever it is, if you feel called to a video of mine, it likely has some sort of resonance to something that you are currently undergoing, right? There's messages in here for everyone. Remembering that this is also a YouTube video, so only take what's for you, okay? Leave the rest for another. But nevertheless, some people call it quantum leaping. Others call it like portals. In August, there's what's that, Lionsgate portal? I personally do not subscribe to Lionsgate portal. There are, excuse me, there are people whom claim there are particular planetary alignments that occur on 8/8, and that's not the case, like, ever. I understand numerologically the significance of that date, so if that's what you subscribe to, great. But if you align to, like, the all power and, like, whatever of this particular day due to a lot of other understandings out there that are just simply false, just be wary about where it is and who it is that you give your energy to, okay? That's all I'm gonna sit on. Whatever. Moving right along. Others also call it, like, ego deaths, right? That's kind of the way that I side with it as well. Nevertheless, it's like your reality shifts, even if it's the same from the outside, meaning you can still be living in the same house, be in the same relationships and all, but your perspective is different. And thus, you engage with your environment differently. Usually, what this also includes, inevitably, I've found, is a shift of environment altogether soon enough, if not already. Because when we shift our vibration by simply making a decision about our current state, and we say yes to something or we say no to something. Sometimes it's a combination of both, depending on your personal situations. But what really manifests as a quantum leap is the action and follow through behind that decision. Oftentimes people get stuck between manifestations because they haven't fully initiated the change that they are hoping to accumulate, hoping that maybe the external environment will just align based on, like, their thoughts and desires for it. But that's part of the work, right? Like, a important part of the formula to manifestation is the action piece, right? After all, this is the human experience. So we got to move our body. We got to show up. We got to decline. We got to do certain things, right? In order to enact change and thus shift things. You can break karmic cycles this way too, right? Like, oftentimes a quantum leap is a really big slash in your karmic cycle, because a lesson that had its opportunities and likely repeated itself over and over and over again no longer has the chance to, because you said, we're done with that. we're doing this now, we're like this now, and here's how I'm going to enforce it. Insert required action. So what I'm channeling here are, number one, a bunch of symptoms. Can we talk about it? Oh my God. It has taken me 4.5 years to actually develop like sick flu-like symptoms. Like I don't get sick anymore. The last time that I did was when I did a massive quote unquote quantum leap, right? Like I changed my environment completely by moving across Canada, all on my own. Everything shifted. Oh my gosh, the follow through that had to occur before then was crazy. So we're going to touch on that slightly here too, because it is pertinent to timeline shifts. People think it's like immediate. Humble yourself into the human experiences, my loves. Anyways, before I digress, so I haven't been sick since that time, and a lot of what's coming up and like the pattern in which it's occurring, I can definitely feel the shift kind of taking place on more of like a cellular molecular level. So I know y'all are going through certain things like this too. So let's talk about some symptoms. Now, by the way, just because I'm attaching this to a spiritual experience, never exempt this from seeking professional help from a medical professional, like a doctor, psychiatrist, whomever it is that you are being pulled to also see, okay? Because these symptoms, yeah, as woo-woo as they are, could also underline something else. So use your discernment is what I'm saying here. Nevertheless, symptoms, sporadic shakes and chills. Like you could just be like, ugh, like on a consistent basis. Ear ringing, okay, that's a typical one. Shortness of breath, feeling as though you got like sudden whiplash, okay? That could also lead to any headaches or migraines, okay? When you don't typically receive them, like you just might feel uncomfortable in the head. Sinuses, okay? In my case, like my eyes just be leaking, but I'm clairvoyant, so it does kind of add up. Anyways, throat, scratches, itches. You might actually develop flu-like symptoms. You could get the shits, TMI, but whatever. You could also be constipation, okay? So you have bowel changes, right? To my ladies, you might have your period be delayed or like missed or just shifted, right? Perhaps it came like a week earlier or a week later. There's a complete change here, especially if you're the type that always has it consistently. You know, prepare for that. What else? I think those are like the main ones, I would say. There is also like this feeling and this sensation of like whiplash, but like almost like sudden like dizziness. You know what I mean? Like I think, especially now, again, this is the time of me recording though. You can be going through it at a different time and whatever. But collectively, because so many of us are universally, energetically, quantumly, whatever, spiritually, religiously, whatever it is that you align with personally, we're all being called to move a particular direction, a particular way. We're demanding more from ourselves or from our governments. We're shifting our priorities and expectations, right? Like this is what I'm talking about. We shifted timelines. Like a lot of us unconsciously in the collective simultaneously during different parts of, you know, let's say like a week of this energy transference, we have decided we're shifting our own personal lives or whatever it may be, right? And this is what caused a collective wave. Other people are like awakening, you know what I mean? And by that, it's a greater level of self-awareness. And what that brings is a desired, if not motivated push for change, for healing, for something different, you know? And so that's what this time is all about. Acknowledging the changes that have already been made and now actually moving into that comfort zone that we've always kind of prayed for, in a way. you know, because when we finally decide to break some sort of a karmic loop, right? Whether this is a limiting belief, whether this is allowing people to treat you a particular way, you know, if it could perhaps maybe be something different, like a financial switch, right? Like you get the job of your dreams, like you completely change careers. It could be school, like there could be so many massive changes that occurs in someone's life, childbirth, loss, marriages, divorces, right? All of these different things, like suddenly, quote unquote, we're living the reality that we have foreshadowed for ourselves in the past. Like this is what we're currently acclimating to. So all of these symptoms, if you will, and again, seek medical help wherever it is that you feel you should. It's kind of like us integrating a lot of that spiritual, emotional, and mental realignment into the physical form, because again, we are human. Dun, 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 okay? Sorry, ADHD just like kicked in there out of nowhere. Oh my goodness, let me sip. Don't judge me for having coffee when I feel ill, okay? This is my precious cup of sunshine that I need right now. We're acclimating. This is like that period after all of the towers. So the spiritual check-ins prior to this one, there have been a lot of tower moments occurring. Like the tower card just kept popping out essentially. And that was that epiphany, that time for change. What is seen can now like never be unseen. Like it's something shifted. Now we get to rebuild, right? And again, that comes with very human acclamations. So yeah. Are you aligned? Are you feeling it? I do want to say that there is a flip side to all of this, right? Because when there is such a collective wave of change, I will say that based on the time of me recording this, there was a full moon in Capricorn 2024 that was conjunct Pluto. That alignment right there, and I'm sure anything else was cosmically in play. I'm not personally an astrologer, but that was the time frame, that just kind of kick-started certain shifts. So a week before this conjunction and time as we know it afterwards. There is also a really great significance that I'm feeling about August 2024 in general being quite a cataclysmic month of events, of opportunities, of change, of inflicting, I just got chills. Inflicting the new, whatever that may be for you personally, right? Like it's a pivotal moment that I think a lot of us are going to be looking back at. So if you are tuning in the future, hey, what's up? Can you maybe go back to August 2024 and let me know how this resonated with you, like what changes took place? And if you're definitely tuning in August as I'm posting this 2024, y'all, like, stay aware at what is being presented to you right now and be wary about what it is that you could reject, because now that I'm done digressing, coming back full circle to the point of like there's an opposite to all of this, right? There are people whom have rejected the change, the initiations, the required action to set forth a particular karmic shift or timeline shift or quantum leap, etc., etc. And it's not to say that they chose wrong or they're bad people or they're just the unwoke, and like we're not playing those games. Everyone moves at a different pace. Everyone's here to actually experience this whole like awakening shit like differently too, Did you ever think of that? There's everything's in perfect timing. You got to decide for that. Either way, you control yourself, so focus on yourself always. But nevertheless, you will be very aware of those whom have chosen in a way to restart something that they could have bypassed in a positive light, you know, because some bypassing is good. Like if you see a lesson coming, like why stand still and get hit with it? Like bypass it, like just take a step over to the right and let it pass you, and you'll be like, wow, I reacted differently, like, you know. There are repeated lessons that some people are choosing to embark on, if you will. This may come with more consequences as opposed to opportunities and quote unquote rewards. Now, that's again never to say that one is right or wrong, okay? What I am saying though is that there are different types of levels to this shit, but without there being a hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes we require relearning the same type of experiences that cause similar types of like pain in order for us to choose to finally break out of it, to learn something differently. It could be karmic, like it's like the wounded healer, you know, it's like our Chiron, which by the way is in Aries right now collectively. So like, hello, like there's a lot of trauma going on in the world right now that will sit with people for the rest of their lives. Fuck. You know? And we all carry an aspect of that. It doesn't have to all be identical naturally. There's a lot of people in this world, but how it is that you choose to utilize your experiences, that's what's going to kind of separate the collective. You may find yourself wanting to kind of set boundaries, or maybe remove yourself from particular types of like friend groups, for example, or like you might switch up your habits on like social media. Maybe you'll like switch platforms, for example, or how it is that you connect with others, right? Because we also have to understand that the South Node is in Libra, right? So that's all about like our partnerships and like relationships, our values. And a lot of that is being shifted right now. And you might notice a greater urge to do that because it's going to be very obvious to you specifically, who is on your quote unquote level and have chosen this new perspective, this timeline shift, this whatever, and are going to go with you, or they're going to stay behind and do what it is that they got to do. Maybe catch up to you in the future, maybe not, maybe go completely the other way, like, you know, but like either way, misalignment is likely to occur at this time. How's my lipstick? Because I feel like it like completely, yeah, whatever. How are you guys, by the way? Are you experiencing any symptoms and stuff? How's your life? I was really called yesterday to like clean my room. I dusted corners I haven't touched in months. I got the ladder out because, as you can see, my bookshelf is quite large, luckily. You might want to do that if you want to like shuffle around your living room, for example, your bedroom, change things around. There's like an environmental shift that will likely happen. If you guys aren't like literally moving, you might be soon enough. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of change happens. Like every single time I quote unquote like timeline shift, like I moved a lot. Now I've been moving a lot since I was like a kid. So that's kind of like a norm for me, but I've noticed that when I like shifted perspectives, that's when like my reality kind of shifted with it. Now I'm also a Sagittarius rising, so that could explain a few things for those of y'all who are into astrology. Just, yeah, we're wanderers, we go out. But if you do feel called to move your environment around, to just clean up house, to do some spring cleaning, if you will, you know, like that sort of shit, do it, you know, because what you're doing is you're making room for other things to take its place, or you're just sending out a clear message to the universe, like, I'm ready, like, you know? Oftentimes our external reality is a reflection of our internal reality. So when our internal reality shifts so much and we change, and like a lot of the work that we have done upon ourselves, our healing, our therapy, our whatever it is that we've done and overgone, right? That's going to want something to reflect that externally. Could be outfit changes. Y'all could be changing up your hair like crazy too. That's a big one. Hair's a big identifier. You know, whatever it is that aligns with you, do more of that. Like, this is how it is that you consistently, by the way, keep humbling and setting those stones to your manifestations in place with the action that solidifies it, you know? Like, if you're gonna change, become it. Y'all feel? I'm not really getting anything from this deck. Bottom of the deck though is evolve into your complexity, so this is really cute, but I'm not called to read from it, so I'm going to switch over to the Modern Nirvana Oracle and see what else is in store. What's needed for the soul fam? Oh, I'm so ready to take a nap, y'all. Excuse me. Messages for the soul fam, those tuning in, those who will align. What do we need to know? Spirit, go off. I heard all of these. Okay, so we have a few cards out here. We have Know Thyself. So let's start with this. This is that self-awareness piece, right? What we're shifting into right now requires self-awareness. It requires accountability. It requires authenticity. And you will feel very connected to your purpose, to your guides, any sort of divination, religion, spiritual connections that you may hold. You will feel like you are a direct channel for that for yourself, right? Everyone is capable of being psychic. Okay, we all have abilities to pick up energies, even if it's through empathy or through body language recognition, right? That's very clear cognizant, by the way. You know, you pick up the subtleties. You will feel an even stronger connection to that when you stand 10 toes down in who it is that you are and choose to embody more of that, okay? And understand that there's going to be certain alignments and misalignments. You're going to come across opportunities and people and places and things and lose them all the same in different ways, right? Like, this is what we often mean by going with the flow, like allowing whatever needs to be let go to go, and then have its opportunity to shift back in, and then you decide with your free will what it is that you're going to do with it, period. Okay? So stand 10 toes down in who it is that you are. Next card, interesting. We have Mask. And notice how this person is currently taking it off. You can also interpret it as someone putting it on. So whichever side of the spectrum you decide to be on, pay close attention to your level of self-awareness. Because one thing that is very intimidating by authentic people is that people who typically wear a mask around them no longer can. Your energy as an authentic being requires people to show up as their true selves. Emotionally, spiritually, mentally, like, you can't hide. There is also, like, you can go a little bit, quote unquote, extreme with this too if you're talking about like narcissistic individuals, you know, like nothing is more disappointing, I guess, to a narcissist than a educated empath when that could call them out on their shit. Like, it just don't work. The mask is off. They see you for what you really are, and that is just a sad individual. It's miserable with themselves. You know, or call a spade a spade. Masks are off, right? So this kind of talks to me here about this duality that's likely going to be more consciously aware to us. And again, that's like who have chosen to change, to embark on a new challenge, to create something new, to become a new, whatever that new is. Little, big, small, don't care to me, okay? Oh my God. Bro, my dog was tripping. Okay, we back now. They barked at nothing. Maybe a noise outside or something set him off. But nevertheless, the way that a lot of that also occurred too, it could really catch people by surprise, you know, like the consequences of their actions, or this could literally mean, because a dog bark signifies kind of like an angry friend or a very abrupt message, right? So there could be some potential arguments, qualms, a spur of chaos or something, right? You also, by the way, just putting this out there, aren't obligated to show up to every single argument that you're invited to, you know? So stand tall. Don't maybe interject someone else's karma, you know? Some of us maybe have like a bit of a savior complex. Chill. Do your own thing, okay? Save yourself. Where, of course, needed. I know a lot of y'all show up for other people. You're also fellow, like, readers and therapists and just amazing people in general. So, like, you know, as it applies. But speaking to the people whom are going to be kind of misaligned from you, even if you have no conscious, like, reasoning as to why you just feel like you need to step away from this person, okay? Because, like, sometimes we energetically pick these things up from people, and we don't know why, and then we were like, no, we're just going to keep tolerating them because they're not giving me a reason to stop being friends with them or to create space. But like, yo, like, your body knows. Unconsciously you're already made aware of something, but consciously you haven't caught up to something because it still requires something. And like, what if this is your unconscious or spiritual, whatever way of pulling yourself out of chaos and out of a karmic loop without actually choosing to participate in it? You know, so listen to yourself, know thyself, okay? And just know that, like, masks are off to anyone who may be involved. Even if this is your own, like, you might be really called to just remove the mask, you know? Yeah, and I know it's not like an easy thing to do. Like, it it freaked me out a lot to show up authentically. Like, me being a little bit like right now, like, I would never have showed up on camera before, but now it's like I just press play. And like, what's really beautiful about these types of quantum shifts, we have Kintsugi and the Rose Phoenix out here, by the way, which I think work well with what I'm about to say. There's a way of like embarking on enough quote unquote like damage and experiences in life and putting yourself together even more beautifully than you've ever expected yourself to be. And like, what we're shifting into right now, if not already, you'll likely already be noticing this with your lovely levels of self-awareness, that what was once difficult is now made easy or easier, right? So a simple example of this, just bringing up like me showing up on camera, like feeling I would have like genuine like panic attacks before I would press record on my cell phone to make YouTube videos. Now, a lot of YouTube videos that I had started out in 2020 have long been unlisted. I know, it was like really annoying. I do that though, sorry. I won't do that anymore though. We're here now. The point is that like I've like started and restarted like catching my own groove, like just being authentic and doing so publicly, unapologetically. as is and just accepting whatever comes. Like, it took me until 2024, maybe 2023, to like loosen up and like just show up. And now I just press play and I just go with it. You know, if I gotta make a couple cuts here and there, I will, but otherwise I'm like, whatever, we here now, we're showing up, the right people align. I have glued myself together better than I expected myself before, and that's kind of bringing in the presence of kintsugi here, because it's the art of melding what was once broken together with like this beautiful gold, I guess metal. Yeah, it's gold metal. Don't judge me. Right? You put yourself together, quote unquote, better again. And the rose phoenix here, I mean, it's a phoenix. We're rising now. Rose is giving me a lot of grounding energy too. Now, of course, the root chakra is red, but a version thereof. We're really grounding in a new reality for ourselves, soul fam. So if you have tuned in to this reading and really align, I hope you stick around at K&M Witchery, because like, whew, we are steady flying out of here with this ascension thing. By the way, an ascension isn't really you reaching higher levels of consciousness, but actually peeling back the onion layers to yourself and to your essence in order to obtain more of that connection between yourself and source. So keep going within, keep doing that healing. If you align with anything of what I said, like I said, I hope you stick around. Okay, join the soul fam by just simply clicking subscribe. There's going to be more spiritual check-ins where this came from. I'm thinking Thursdays we'll do spiritual check-ins, and then like Sundays some pick a cards. You know, I want to get out like a nice schedule for y'all on this channel, especially because my other channels are going to start popping off soon too. So we here now, soul fam, and I'd love for you to take me along on your ride too, right? Like, let's all evolve together. Also, just throwing this out there, I do have a Patreon where I post weekly updates of like energies that we're collectively likely to experience, how to process through things, as well as like extra lives, bonuses, any extendeds from any reading across any of my channels. It's all there, bonus contents, etc. So click the link down below if you're interested in joining, okay? Otherwise, that's it. That's it for me for now, soul fam. Let me know with a like and comment down below how you resonated. What are your current symptoms, if any? Are you experiencing this quote-unquote duality between yourself and others? Are you really opening up to a lot of different opportunities and realizing how different and how magical things really are? Let me know where you're at. I'm a little cultivation of all of these things at once. So maybe you're all of the above too. Let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay? Bye.